Hi, I'm Granny Cindy, and I'm going to read a story out of a book called Storytelling with the Flannel Board, and it's by Paul S. Anderson. And the story I'm going to read is called Pedro's Christmas Flower, and the author of it is unknown. It's a legend of the Christmas flower. Um, How are you this morning, Mama? Pedro spoke softly as he bent over a thin, white-faced woman who lay on a cot. Better, maybe. A little better, Pedro, she whispered. Perhaps I can get up soon and maybe mañana, Pedro. But Pedro knew it was not so. Each day his tired little mother grew thinner and paler. If only he could have a good doctor come to the little adobe hut. If there was medicine for her, but medicine cost money, and Pedro earned hardly enough money from the sale of fireweed. Pedro sighed as he closed the door. Today he must buy beans, and if there was enough money left, a small piece of meat. How he would like to buy a Christmas present for his mother. He would buy one of the silver necklaces which the silversmith sold, or he would buy a pair of silver earrings. But alas, that could never be. Pedro placed the saddle blankets on each side of the little brown burro and led him out of the shed. The sunlight was bright, but the air was crisp. He walked behind the donkey, switching his long stick gently over the animal's back. Now and then Pedro would stop and pick up a piece of dried mesquite or a piece of dried cactus. These he loaded into the baskets, but the wood was hard to find in the desert. He walked further than he had ever gone before. He climbed a little rise in the ground and stood on a sandy knoll looking down into the little valley below. A tiny stream trickled from the small rocky cliff. It ran into a little pool. Down beside the pool, growing close to the water, were some tall, pretty red flowers. Their leaves were glossy green, and they shone like the wax candles in the church. Pedro ran up the slope to the flowers. They're beautiful, he cried, like Christmas. I'll pick Mama a bouquet for the Christmas surprise. He bent and picked a beautiful bright red bloom, but almost as soon as he pulled the stalk from the root, it withered. Its petals seemed to shiver and fade. The white sap dripped into his fingers. Oh, Pedro cried, they bleed, they die. But perhaps if I dig the roots, they too will keep for Mama's Christmas. He took a sharp stick and dug carefully around the roots, and soon he had a soft ball of earth with the red flower standing proudly upright in the middle. Pedro put the plant in the corner of one of his wood baskets, and then he kept on gathering fireweed. When the basket was full, he turned the little burro back towards home. It was still early when he stopped at the house of his first customer. Buenos dias, Senor Martinez greeted him. What a lovely flower you have there, Pedro. A beautiful flower, said the man who was standing beside the donkey. He was a stranger and had difficulty speaking the language. It is for my mama, Pedro said. It is for her Christmas. Dr. Poinsett is a great lover of flowers, Senor Martinez said. At his home in the United States, he has a greenhouse where he raises many flowers. But that one, the tall doctor said, is a new one to me. It is very lovely. Would you sell it, boy? That it is for Mama, Pedro said, and then quickly. But if you're a doctor, perhaps you could help me, sir. My Mama is very sick and there is no doctor. If you would come, I could show you where the flowers grow, and you could have all of them you want. You say your mother is ill? The doctor had forgotten the flower. He sounds pretty kind-hearted, doesn't he? Well, yes, and white and thin. I will try to help her, but she needs medicine. I will come, the doctor said. One moment and I will be with you. The good doctor got his black bag and Pedro led the way to the adobe hut. Pedro watched outside while the doctor made his examination. It seemed a long time before he came out, but Pedro was glad to see a smile on his face. Good food and the right medicine will cure her, and you and I will go into the village and get what she needs. She is very sick now, but she will get better soon. Oh, Dr. Pedro cried. You mean she will get well and strong again? Yes, said the doctor, but she will need fruits and vegetables. Beans are not enough. Come, we will go shopping. So you can see he's got a kind face, and there's the poinsettia, and there's Pedro. And they went to the village, and the good doctor brought fruit, vegetables, meat, and milk. You must eat these good foods too, Pedro, said the doctor. I will bring some each day while I am staying with the Senora Martinez, and I will leave money for you to buy more good food. Gracias, gracias, said Pedro. He prepared the food for dinner and hurried to wash and put away the dishes. Then he put the baskets on the burro and hurried away to the little valley. The sun was going down before he finished digging out the roots of a beautiful red flower like the one he had dug for his mother. He took it to the good doctor. Here is your Christmas flower, said Pedro. It will be a Christmas flower for many people, said the doctor. Just wait and we'll see. It shall be my poinsettia flower, said Pedro. I shall name it after you. You are making my mother well, and I shall have a good Christmas. Poinsettia is a good name, said the doctor. We shall call it that. So Pedro's red flower is now the Christmas flower. Not only in one nation, but in many. It is raised all over the country from which it came. Scarcely a cottage in Mexico is without its tall red flowers that almost cover the house at Christmas time. Pedro's flower is truly a great gift. Thank you.